You know what it is, Justin? We're troubleshooting our internet problems right on the stream. You know what it is? It's as soon as you start the Twitch stream.
That's what I'm saying.
Because when you started the Twitch stream, your
it's like
internet,
Justin got all pixely.
Yeah. As soon as you started the stream, you got pixely.
He turned into some cheap bukkake.
Oh.
You know.
Well, there you go. Not that I know what that looks like. Welcome to the Good Games Podcast. My name is James.
I'm Leo.
I'm Justin.
Hey guys, we're right back at it again.
Yeah.
I feel like we were just here yesterday.
Yeah, well, there was 3 days ago or 4 days ago. Yeah. I don't know what's been going on. You guys play any Bravely Default?
Oh yeah. So I have to give a full disclosure on this one. I was playing Bravely Default and 2.
I thought you were going to say I was playing Bravely Default 1, so I have no idea what.
No, I was playing BFD 2 or BD2, and I was really enjoying it, and I love the Switch form factor, so I was just like casually sort of doing all these side quests. I probably spent close to 10 hours of this game, and then there was like an autosave feature. And I think at one point I left the Switch like in sleep mode too long, and then when I woke up, it tried to autosave right as I like left this really important like cutscene part and everything, and then it like just crashed in the middle of the autosave, and then ever since then I've been unable to play this game for like 2 weeks.
Cool.
So yeah,
good,
every time I started, it crashed. I tried restarting the whole thing. I tried deleting my save file, the games, and re-downloading them from the cloud. Nothing worked. So I was really enjoying it, but I was literally forced to not finish it.
Okay. Well, how far did you get before?
After spending probably close to 10 hours, I realized that I had just finished like the the title screen showed up.
Yeah.
So
I was like, 10 hours in.
I was
10 hours in, the title screen show, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
This game is freaking long, dude.
That game is absurdly long.
But I was like, I'm in it. Like, even if I don't finish it in the next month, like, I'll just keep playing it. I'll give like a Leo retrospective later on when I finish it and stuff. Like, I was enjoying it. I was going to just sort of take my time with it casually, and now all my dreams are crushed. So
I'm so sorry about your dreams. I don't know. There's got to be a way to fix that, right? You can't just.
It got really weird, man. I deleted the entire copy of the game from the Switch and your save file and re-downloaded, and it was still re-downloaded them from the cloud. Whenever you load that save file, the next time you try to it tries to autosave, it just crashes.
Oh, so that save file itself is just dead.
It's just messed up. Yeah, like it's so.
Oh, did you save in multiple? You got to save in multiple slots.
Well,
man.
I saved it. I had the autosave and I had the manual save. Either one I loaded, the same thing happened.
Oh, really? That sounds more like a bug with the game.
Probably. I have no idea.
Are you sure you're playing on the latest version? I don't know if there's a bug patch or anything.
I don't think so. I mean, I always get updates when they're.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Are you listening, Square Enix? Are you listening to this man?
Fix your game, man.
He had a problem with your game.
Come on,
Square. Speaking of which, Bravely Default, for those who don't know, is a game by Square Enix. It is in the mold of older, specifically like the Super Nintendo era Final Fantasies to like, so it's like, for all of the Final Fantasy fans who like, oh, I don't like this action combat. I want the old school shit. That Bravely Default, I almost knocked my lighting rig over. Bravely Default is for those people. It is a throwback Final Fantasy game. That's a real big bummer. So you got through the like prologue.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it felt like I was.
Which, if you haven't played the game, sounds like nothing. But no, it is the prologue is it's about 10 hours long.
I can't tell you how upset I was to see the stupid title. I was like, I'm really giving this a good run. Like I'm like so many hours in. I've done all these quests. I'm like way overpowered, and then like. It's like Bravely Default. I started seeing like, the credits for like the producers.
That was yeah, because I like a lot of video games do that where you play through like a prologue and then it'll be like the title screen. That was the longest gap between starting a game and having that title screen. Yeah, Ridiculous. That was definitely a what the fuck?
Yeah, that would have been a little weird for me because I played the demo, and that starts you on chapter 1. It says this occurs after the prologue.
Yeah.
So I would have been like, wait, so if I got the whole game and played it, I would have been like, okay, wait, when do I get to the part I played in the demo.
Right.
You don't get to that part till like 20 hours.
For a long time. Yeah, apparently. But overall, I mean, I was, like I said, I was really enjoying the game. I know the theme for today is spiritual successors, and this one is, I guess, a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Super Friends. What is it? I don't know. What is
Final Fantasy Super Friends?
I don't know. What is the game that
Friends?
It's like that? It's
I mean, it's kind of riffing. It's kind of riffing on all of the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy, but I think specifically this feels the most like either Final Fantasy 3 or most like Final Fantasy 5, with the whole like job system, and you have multiple jobs and you can take abilities from other jobs and mix and match, and what did you think about the whole job system?
Well, from my experience, it's like I like it. I like that the framework that they were laying down a lot, like the idea of quick switching jobs. I'm always a big fan of jobs in RPGs, but being that I guess I was only in the prologue, it was a very like pushed agenda. It felt like for like each of the characters, like you just happen to unlock these they have these stones or whatever that represent
asterisks,
the job. Asterisks. And so every time you beat like a new boss figure, they dropped a stone, and it just happened to be the next perfect job for each like party member. So there wasn't like a lot of decisions to be made there. Actually, the overall theme I have for this game is I loved the tutorial. Like, it was in depth, and I knew exactly how to do everything. But then maybe because I was still early in the game, the difficulty was not really, there wasn't a lot to it. So like, it's like I'm always the one on this podcast that really wants, like, I want you to explain to me how to play the game so that I don't have to like guess how to control things or how certain HUD elements work. I don't want to guess, right? But that's different from the difficulty of the game. Like, that's not, to me, that's not the same thing. So like, yes, teach me how everything works, but then like challenge me, and there wasn't any challenge for all 10 hours.
Yeah, totally agree. The prologue you can breeze through. I will say I lost the first boss fight, and then I was like, oh, I just need to grind like 1 or 2 more levels. That was actually the only time I had to grind in that game was the very first boss fight, because I was like, I know there's not that many strategies because I only got 4 jobs. Sure. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm just 1 level behind. And
I had an even worse experience. I never died once. I think maybe that first boss fight was the first time I had to revive someone.
Oh wow, yeah,
yeah. So but that's cool. But I was enjoying the atmosphere. I was enjoying the style of everything was great. The job system seemed like it had a lot of potential, and I was looking forward to like things could eventually be a lot more decision making for different characters and stat and min-maxing and stuff. So they're laying down a good sort of foundation, I think. But the game was just too long, right? Like, that's just
yeah. I mean,
just make it shorter.
That is almost always like my thing with like AAA games. I'm like, hey, this game was 60 hours, but it needed to be like 30 or 20. Like,
right.
This game was like 100 hours. And I was fine with that, but only because I was just enjoying just the monotonous kind of like dungeons and grinding and like fighting through the boss. You can just, it's a very relaxing thing, especially for someone who grew up with those games, to just like experience like, oh, I'm gonna go through the dungeon, I'm gonna kill the boss, I'm gonna level up, I'm gonna go through another I don't know. I enjoyed doing that over and over. I did too.
It was like a casual sort of just euphoric experience. I was kind of like relaxing, meditative almost. By the way, Final Fantasy, the 4 Heroes of Light. That is the game that I was referring to. That this is the spiritual successor to.
What the fuck is that? I don't know.
It's on a Nintendo DS. It's colloquially known as a spiritual successor to the 4 Heroes of Light, which sounds exactly like this game. It is a Nintendo DS spin-off of the main Final Fantasy series.
I'm going to look that game up real quick because I don't know what the fuck that is. Justin, what did you think? What were your thoughts of what you played in the demo?
Well, there's not much to get from the demo because you don't really get to play with the jobs that much.
Well, you got to do the combat, right? What did you think about the Bravely Default like main feature, the combat where like you can bravely like tap R and like do multiple of one thing or whatever? Like, did you get to do that?
I see. I didn't get to do that. I didn't play enough of this to really get a good gauge on it, but I mean, the combat system seemed fine to me. I mean,
let me ask you this: imagine a turn-based combat game, right, where you have like 4 characters on the field, and then you have like your attack, item, magic, whatever, like menu items, right? And then you can tap the R button to do multiple of those menu items, commands, whatever you want to do, like up to like 4 of them in a row on one turn as a character. So if you can attack a creature and hit like a 100 damage, you just tap that R button, then do 4 attacks on one turn for that character. And the only downside is that it's like a queue, right? So if you pop 4 attacks on it, then you have to wait 4 turns before you can move again with that character.
So you're just kind of you're getting an option to like overwhelm,
right? Like overload, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, it's like there's like weaknesses and all that. So if you know you have a strength against a specific monster with your sword attack, it like does extra damage. You could just kill everything on the field, spam it, and you still have 3 other characters that can handle the rest of things while you're waiting on that guy to come back. So does that sound overpowered to you? Because it felt overpowered.
it sounds pretty overpowered.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to do a little bit of the combat, but literally the demo starts where you're kind of out of the prologue area. You're kind of just starting a canyon, and you go your journeys to find the water crystal, right?
And
he starts on the second city on I can't remember the desert city.
Yeah, it's the desert city. Yeah. I could see though how this game is long because playing in that and just going through the whole story itself, it took a while. Like just through playing, just getting into the city and kind of starting to figure things out and talking to the prince and then talking to the casino guy, and then like that alone took an hour and a half of the demo. The demo gives you 5 hours to play. I was like, damn, like Jesus. Like, I battled one time. Like, can I play a game now? Like,
there's a lot of slow dialogue.
When the demo is 5 hours long, that you're signing up for something. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But I mean, granted, the bit of combat I got seemed, it seemed pretty Final Fantasy-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was literally a Final Fantasy.
But that was also one thing so I looked at they give you like the tutorial stuff that you can open up the menu and look at all the things you can do. There's a lot of things you can do, and I don't know, it was a little overwhelming a bit to understand. Yeah, like the job system and the.
It's pretty complex.
I'm pretty sure I saw something about tapping a button to do multiple attacks. But the thing was, I never really got an extra chance to do that.
Information overload.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially if you start in the demo on chapter 1 or chapter 2, and then you've already got so many abilities, and you're like, whoa.
That kind of threw me off a little bit too. I would have liked to, I don't know, just give me some of the like half the prologue or something. That would have been fine. Or I don't know. Being thrown in with already stuff preset kind of just left me like, okay.
I was just getting to an interesting part too, James. I mean, you beat the game, right? So I imagine that there's lots of like political intrigue and stuff, because I got like some random big bad boss fight at the end who like annihilated my party. It was very cringy, that character. But I imagine that like as things go on, like there's like some more intrigue.
It doesn't get any less cringy. The story was a major weak point for me. Okay. It was just kind of cliched and tropey, and it was everything just kind of happens exactly the way you think it's gonna happen. And it was like, okay, all right, and then this, and then this, and then okay.
I noticed that a bit about the dialogue was that like sometimes they would just pre-predict, the characters would tell you something that may happen, and then that thing obviously happened. Like, wow, could you just not let this play out?
I mean, they didn't work very hard. But that's the thing. Like, I think what's great about this game is that it's not trying to be anything fancy. It's like, here's a JRPG like the ones you know and love. And it's done well. Like everything's smooth except for their major bug with save points. Everything was smooth, and the music is just relaxing, and
music was solid.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I think was odd. It's a very like anime feel but not an animated look. So like there's like this big cinematic combat between the Sir Knight guy that's helping you right where I left off, and he fights the big bad guy and like holds him off and stuff. And he's doing all these like really cringy anime tropey things. He's like wall jumping and all this. And the whole time I was thinking like, wouldn't it be cool to just like throw back to like the cinematics they used to do in between, you know, major plot points in Final Fantasy games, and just make this like an anime, you know, scene, you know, or something like just change the whole aesthetic and let me watch an anime for a few minutes here, and not like the weird like 3D models that are like.
I think the game looks awkward. Good, yeah, but exactly. I think the game looks good, but there's like a clash of art styles.
Yeah,
because like for the backgrounds, they did like a really nice watercolor, like
yeah, like it looks like a painting.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a painting, and you can zoom out, and all the towns look like a painting. That looks really cool. But then, like the characters are like, they're like this weird chibi. They have huge
chibi style model. Yeah, big heads.
Giant heads, and I don't know. Yeah, that
little arms.
One thing I noticed right off the bat, like the walking cycle on the overworld,
looks weird. It looks weird.
Like it just doesn't. Yeah, the way they walk just doesn't look right.
But that's the thing, right? Like in traditional games that this game is sort of modeling itself after, I would forgive all that, and I would be looking forward to that big cutscene at the end of disc 1 where you get to see everybody in like a totally different, you know, character model, you know, like, or CGI or whatever, like, or just some, you know, anime scene where you just totally change the art style, make everyone look badass and like proportionate, and then go back to the chibi style for like playthrough. Like I would love that. But then instead they took the chibi guys and did some, you know, just, you know, model animations for the scenes, and it just looked awkward as hell. And I couldn't take the bad guys seriously at all. Like
I want because there's an opening animation. I think it's on the menu screen, like when you first boot up the game, where I think they show Gloria. And like when you finish the game, there's these animations where it's like sketches of the characters, and I'm like, that's perfect. Why didn't you just make the characters look like that? Like,
yeah. That's cool. That would have been nice.
I don't know why they're weird and chibi.
That's my one major gripe with this game. Like I feel like that's an obvious decision that Square Enix did not make. They just decided to use the same character models, just animate them. They'll never.
Yeah, and I can kind of see the chibi thing working on a handheld like the DS, which I guess the Switch is also technically a handheld, because you know then you get the nice big faces and it's easy to see expressions and whatever. But yeah, I played the whole game on TV and it just was off-putting. I don't know.
I played the whole game on Switch and it was still off-putting.
Oh, you play? Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing I wanted to chime in on the battle system. You're right. I think the meta of the game was if you're in a random battle, just everyone braves super hard,
absolutely.
like max brave on a random battle, and you try to beat the enemy, and you try to beat the enemy in one turn without the enemy ever getting to move.
Yep.
But like for bosses, especially for like the first half of the game, like don't brave, like never ever brave unless you're trying to finish off the boss like last hit or something.
Save it for you're on the final.
Yeah, because it's like it's super bad if like the boss deals a ton of damage and then all your guys are in the red on brave points and you can't move anymore. And then on the job system, especially in the later half of the game, the boss fights kind of you kind of have two boss fights for each boss. Like the first time you fight the boss, you kind of feel them out and like, okay, what are their attacks? What's their pattern? What's their weaknesses? Got it. Okay, I got fucked up because I was just kind of feeling them out. Let me try again, and let me switch my jobs around because I know the boss is weak to this and weak to this.
Yeah.
But like, it seems like the game really wants you to experiment with all these different job setups. What I really, really wanted were job presets. Like, let me map out, okay, this job, and this is a sub job, and this guy has these abilities and this equipment. Like, every time you change somebody's job, you have to like remap all the abilities.
Configure all that over again.
You gotta change all their weapons and armor. You gotta just let me preset. Just let me have like 5 presets where I can be like, all right, that's my knight preset. This is my, monk preset. Here's my black mage preset, and I'm good.
So
and then
There's a Final Fantasy that you're probably not a fan of, but I am. That I'll probably bring up when we endorse stuff. But they take care of that problem because they tie your job and your specialization to your equipment, which I like a lot better. Like that. Like basically, if you equip a shield, then you are the paladin job, and if you equip a samurai sword, then you are the samurai class, or like whatever. And then you can save your equipment presets. So as long as you just literally can just switch all of your gear over with like a click of a button.
I wanted that so bad.
Yeah,
I wanted that so bad in this game. And it seems like that's what the game wants you to do. It wants you to like mess around with the jobs a lot. It doesn't want you to just stay in the same job all the time. Like, give me those presets, man.
Yeah, man. What are you doing, Square Enix?
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with the game. That, the weird art style. I don't know. Everything else, the story was kind of weak. Everything else was.
That sounds like a lot.
It does. But everything else was solid. Everything else was like classic Final Fantasy.
Yeah, classic Final Fantasy. It's a chill game. Like, I could see me just playing through this. Like, it would probably take me 2 years to finish it. But I would continue just going back to it and getting a little bit, further.
I clocked in right around 100 hours. And,
wow.
And there are like multiple endings, and you have to like, in order to get the best ending, you have to get all of the other endings. And I got like the best one. So like I really sunk a lot of time into this sucker. Yeah, it was good though. I enjoyed it. Overall, enjoyed it. It's got some problems, but Bravely Default 3, which, by the way, this game's called Bravely Default 2, but there's 2 other Bravely Default games. This is the 3rd Bravely Default game. I don't know why this... Yes! There's Bravely Default, and then Bravely Second, and then they called this one Bravely Default 2, but this is the 3rd game!
Are we really doing the Square again?
They suck at this. They suck at counting. They're so bad at counting.
Just as bad as Microsoft.
Yeah,
I was about to say they're taking the Microsoft approach.
Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 10-2, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 10-3.
Are we expecting anything different really from Square Enix at this point?
No. Of course not. No, it's just more dumb shenanigans with counting.
No, sure. I haven't had much of experience with the other Bravely's, but what's with the name Bravely Default? Can someone explain that to me?
That's a mystery of its own, I think. A little bit.
I would imagine it. I would have to imagine. It means
different things to different people.
No, I mean, I would have to imagine it's called something else in Japanese, but the translation we have is Bravely Default. The 2 commands that you can use to fuck around with your brave points are either to brave, which is if you're brave, you get multiple actions, or if you default, you kind of defend, but you get to stockpile more points, which you could then use later on. So Bravely Default. It doesn't really make any fucking sense in English. I'm hoping it makes sense in Japanese. I don't know.
There's also, if you watch, like, I hadn't played Bravely Default 1, so I kind of like watched some sort of story recap, videos.
You don't even, it's completely unrelated.
I know. Well, I mean, they make some throwbacks to the Heroes of Light, which is...
but that's just a Final Fantasy thing. There's Heroes of Light in every single fucking Final Fantasy.
I know. But all I'm saying is, when you watch that video, at least the one that I watched, he kind of said how there was like 4 key moments throughout the story where you had sort of a decision to make to either brave or default, and it was like, or like it was like a concept, like to do something brave is to do something like crazy, and to default was like not. I don't know. It's kind of brave. Yeah, it's like some sort of like weird, like sort of theme throughout the story, basically. And then it was the combat system too. That's what I took away.
Yeah. One final thing on this. Near the end of the game, and I almost forgot about this. Near the end of the game, they start doing some like fourth wall breaking fuckery, like Nier Automata style. And those who played Nier Automata know what I'm talking about. They do some of that stuff. They don't go quite as far as Nier Automata. But like I enjoyed the like weird fourth wall breaky, like sort of playing around with the game's UI to express story. I don't know. Actually, my wife was watching some of this weird shit, and she brought up her favorite moment of like weird UI fourth wall breaking fuckery, which is another Final Fantasy game. I don't know if you guys played Crisis Core.
Yeah, I've played that.
Do you remember the final battle of Crisis Core?
All the soldiers.
All the soldiers, yeah.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole game, Zach has this weird fucking slot wheel. And the whole fucking game, you're like, what is the point of this? Like, it just gives you like random bonuses. And you're like, why did they, what the fuck? And it like random characters will show up. It'll be like Zach plus Cloud equals, you get a bonus attack. And you're like, okay, whatever. At the very end of the game, he's fighting all of these soldiers. He's fighting like 100 fucking dudes. And he's like, well, this is it. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. Like, I can't beat 100 people. But then he starts thinking of his girlfriend, Aerith, and all of the slots just show up Aerith, and then he gets like fucking superpowers. Like that sort of thing, like where they use part of the game's UI to like, this is what this character is thinking about or like feeling in this moment or what. Like, I like that. That's cool.
I like that kind of stuff too. Very Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say, Justin? I cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say about the Bravely Default name. I mean, honestly, what does even Final Fantasy mean?
I don't know. There's like a it's like
just like a weird like let's put two words together and that's a game.
There was not an urban legend, but like I don't know a common thing that Sakaguchi and Square, when they made Final Fantasy, they were like, oh, our budget is running out. Like, this is our last game, so it's Final Fantasy. But I think that was bullshit. I think the company was doing just fine, and they would have kept going on just fine, even if Final Fantasy bombed, they would have been fine. So I think that whole thing was bullshit. I don't know why it's called Final Fantasy.
Why not? You know?
I don't know why it's called Final Fantasy, and it's definitely not the Final Fantasy because there's fucking 27 of them.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Like it's cute that they're all called Final Fantasy and they're never final.
No, it's never final. Never final.
It's a Final Fantasy.
Anything else with Bravely Default?
It's a good game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I feel like if you want like old style Final Fantasy feel, it's go for it.
Yeah.
If you want an old school feeling of supporting this podcast, you can do that by supporting us on Patreon. We are also, by the way, we're on YouTube. If you want to see our dumb fucking faces, you can watch us on YouTube. And if you don't, you can listen to us on most popular podcasting platforms. Yeah, I realized like for the opening of last week's episode, I had the some of the gameplay footage from Star Trek, and I was like, this isn't gonna make any fucking sense to anyone who's just listening to the audio version and not the video.
Matter. I mean, I feel, you know what? Did you really try it? Did you try listening to it instead of watching it?
I don't know. I should go listening to it.
I think it would still be entertaining.
I should go listen to it on iTunes and Spotify and Google Music Play, whatever it's called.
All your favorite podcasting.
Yeah. And then after I do that, I should give ourselves 5 stars and thumbs up and a like and subscribe and all that shit.
And then
I'm sure that's frowned upon. But
yeah, probably. And then I should also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com with suggestions for what we should talk about in the future, or your thoughts on Bravely Default, or I don't know, whatever. Just send us a dick pic. Who cares? Don't do that.
Don't do that, please.
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Say, attention, James. That's
right, for James's eyes only. Yeah, our top 5 today is Spiritual Successors, because Bravely Default is kind of a spiritual successor to the old school Final Fantasy games. So what are your guys' top 5? Do we want to have a collaborative? I had a rough time coming up with 5 good spiritual successors.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough. But
because you really got to think about it. Because like some of these are made by the same company, some are made by different companies.
Yeah.
But
I was doing
spiritual. Yeah,
I was doing research for this, and like one of the ones that came up was like Dark Souls, and I'm like, like Dark Souls was made by FromSoft. They're like, oh, Dark Souls is a spiritual successor to Demon Souls. I'm like, that game was made like 2 years after Demon Souls by the same company with the same it's like all the same, like it's a spiritual successor only because Sony had the rights to Dark Souls or Demon Souls. Like otherwise it just would have been Demon Souls 2.
I don't know how that makes you feel about one of my picks, but I was very I knew immediately what my top 2 were, and my second one you might be able to make the same.
Yeah, whatever. I was like, where do you really draw the line though? Because like some of my picks, like some of the director is the same, and like some of the even a couple of mine are like it's the same fucking studio, but 10, 20 years apart. They made a spiritual successor to a game they made 20 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Should I throw some out there?
Yeah.
All right. I put last year's EA Star Wars Squadrons.
Right.
That's a good one. Okay.
Successor to,
I mean, I had a lot of problems with that game when it came out. It got better over time. What I really wanted from that game was more single player content that wasn't like stupid. But that game is pretty cool. If you log on to it now, there's like a gajillion ships and more maps and more customization. And it's exactly what I wanted. They just took the old school like TIE Fighter mechanics, like the old school LucasArts TIE Fighter and X-Wing DOS games. They took the like you have to fly around and aim your crosshair while at the same time play this mini game of like resource management, and like you have to be doing both constantly, and they did that really well in Star Wars Squadrons.
Yep. So like, are we just pitching ones for a collaborative one here?
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Sure.
Yeah,
I guess the 2 that I felt strongly about was the one that I think is maybe controversial would be Perfect Dark.
For GoldenEye.
Spiritual Successor GoldenEye. I think the main part that makes it a spiritual successor is the IP, right? Like you just don't have the license to make another GoldenEye because that's like a movie, right? So you make Perfect Dark, basically the same game as the sequel.
Same fucking game, same engine, same map. The maps are the same, same asset.
But the characters are totally different.
True, it's not James Bond. It's whatever dark lady was. I can't remember her name.
Perfect. Yeah, her name is Perfect Dark. Yeah.
No, what's her? Oh, fuck, now I gotta look it up.
First name Perfect, last name Dark.
No, that's not it. It's I forget what her name is. I don't know. You got any Ryman?
Yeah. So I was gonna say one that's I guess a pretty popular series that was a spiritual successor to Prince of Persia is Assassin's Creed.
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking about that one as well.
Yeah. Because it plays on the whole stealthy thing, running on walls, climbing things, which a lot of Prince of Persia had that, and then it also plays on kind of like time stuff a little bit because like the whole point of Assassin's Creed is that you're digging into old memories of your ancestors, and and Prince of Persia was about reversing time, so that's pretty much almost kind of what you're doing. I mean, I don't know in a way, but I guess it's more of like the platforming is what it's a successor to. But
I mean, and like the theme, like sort of the Arabian Nights sort of theme.
Yeah, because if you think the original Assassin's Creed, it's definitely holds that same kind of era,
Middle East setting.
Yeah, Joanna Dark, by the way, is what her
I was
name
close.
is.
I said Jennifer.
Right, you said Perfect.
Well, that's what she's known by. It's Jennifer Perfect is her nickname. Dark.
I don't know if we're ranking these. My number 4 was a game I'm playing right fucking now, and it's Resident Evil 8, and I think it's a spiritual successor to Resident Evil 4. And you're like, how can a series be a spiritual successor to itself? Right. You have to understand that Resident Evil has these like eras where they are very, very different games. Like the first 3 games are like pure survival horror. Then we took this weird turn with 4, and like 4 through 6 are like action they're just action shooters with like a little coat of paint of horror on top. Like you're shooting a lot and blowing things up, but the people you're shooting happen to be zombies. Anyway, 7 took us back to survival horror. 8, it's so far still a survival horror game, but we've brought back just about fucking everything else from RE4, which was the one that started taking us towards action. So we've got like the same setting. You're in a village, then there's a castle. It's like the same like pseudo not medieval, but like I don't know. Yeah, I guess medieval.
The trailer I saw, it kind of seemed like from the trailer almost like a Salem witch trials sort of.
Yeah, it's all it's witches and vampires and lycans and werewolves and anyway. It's that theme, but then they brought back like I'm talking everything from RE4. The like UI where you had to like sort all your items into that briefcase. That's back. Just like I don't shooting the shiny things on the wall to get treasures to sell to a merchant to upgrade your guns, and the merchant even literally says, "What are you buying?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, so it's just RE4. It's more RE4. That was my number 4.
Okay, well, I guess if I was ranking these, I probably wouldn't have started with Perfect Dark because that'd probably be like my number 2.
Right.
But I also wanted to throw out Final Fantasy Tactics, which I think a lot of people feel like that is sort of a spiritual successor to the Ogre Battle series.
It absolutely is. It's the same fucking team.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love both the Ogre series and the Tactics series, so I will definitely sign off on that. And I mean, you know me, I love some tactical, job focused strategies. So especially like medieval themed with lots of intrigue and cool artwork and stuff. I love Tactics, man. Yeah. Actually, I want to play Tactics right now.
Tactics, I just replayed it last year. It's still so
good.
Fucking great. That game's amazing. And I would have put it on my list, but like again, it didn't fit my own personal definition of spiritual successor because it's the same team that did Ogre Battle, and they're just like, we'll join Square and make a Final Fantasy one. Right. And it was like immediate. It was right in between Let Us March Together and Ogre Battle 64. So they literally went Ogre Battle 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle 3. Like, anyway, whatever. They're all the same game.
I guess my number 4, I would put Bloodstained.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck, you took
successor. Successor to Castlevania. Pretty much. I mean, honestly, that's exactly what it feels like is a Castlevania. Granted, the art style is very different. It feels a bit like kind of Symphony of the Night-ish.
Oh God, yeah.
With the whole kind of animations and kind of almost art style way. It does play a little bit differently, but overall, I mean, it if you want kind of a Castlevania feeling game, Bloodstained's definitely a good one.
It's just Symphony of the Night again.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Symphony of the Night. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also directed by the same dude, Koji Igarashi. And like the only reason, because I had that on my list, the only reason it is on my list is because like, it's 20 years apart, and he made it with his own studio, not Konami anymore, and it's technically not Castlevania, even though it's definitely Castlevania.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the same argument about like Yooka-Laylee or something.
Yeah. It's just Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. I had that on my list. BioShock was on my list. I don't know. Like thematically, it has a lot of the same like philosophicalness of System Shock. But like the setting is obviously completely fucking different. It's like this underwater like 20s dystopia utopia sort of thing instead of creepy. A futuristic cyberpunk sort of. But like, I mean, it's the same. You got all these crazy superpowers, and you can. There's different ways you can load out your character. You can go, all powers, all guns, movement. Whatever. Yeah. BioShock.
Let's see. I also was going to throw in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So Justin's already got that. And then Bravely Default. I was going to say I'm not really familiar with the 4 Heroes of Light game, but I liked Bravely Default enough to say it must be a pretty good spiritual successor because I enjoyed it.
Well, I was just reading up on it, and it was like they did 4 Heroes of Light for DS, and then they just did another one with like same art style, same assets, whatever, and just called it Bravely Default. But so, yeah, it was like one of those like same team, same thing, but we're calling it something different now. It seems like anyway.
Yeah, so it's like, does that qualify as a spiritual successor, or does that make it more of a sequel?
Yeah,
but it has it's a different name and everything. So it's
yeah. I don't know.
I can't exactly call it a sequel. So yeah, it's spiritually the successor to previous game. I don't know.
My number 3 was also BioShock.
Yep,
I had BioShock on there. Pretty much the same reasons. Yeah, System Shock. It obviously, very different story, but felt the same.
Yep. My number 2, you already took from me, was Bloodstained, but it has number 1 in the two things in common are, hey, Konami is not only not making Castlevania games, they're not making video games anymore. But anyway, they're like, hey, Konami's not making Castlevania games, we're gonna make our own. We're gonna make Bloodstained. My number 1 is Shovel Knight. Hey, Capcom's not making Mega Man games anymore. Cool, we're gonna make our own and call it Shovel Knight. It's just Mega Man. It's just Mega Man. Did you want more Mega Man? Play Shovel Knight.
I do have to play Shovel Knight. I haven't played it yet.
It's very good.
Well, my number 2, like I said before, was Perfect Dark. So my number 1, which is definitely in the truest form a spiritual successor. The game is called Kengo, Master of Bushido. And the game it is successing is the Bushido Blade series.
Okay.
So it's widely known amongst Bushido Blade fans as a spiritual successor. However, so the thing that made Bushido Blade really, really fun was the fact that like one attack can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that made it interesting was that like they had all these different characters with different weapon styles. Like someone had like a spear, someone had a sword, someone had, like nunchucks, someone had ninja star, or whatever. And it was this cool like 3D battle system where you could like fight through the trees in this classic like samurai fight kind of thing. And then Kengo was more like they took the same mechanic of like one sword attack can kill you. So that was like it felt very similar to Bushido Blade, but then they got rid of all the like cool aspect and made it, of course, I love this, purely like a realistic samurai fighting game. So you were like, you started in a dojo and you trained with wooden bokken and you didn't even get to use a sword for like a long time. And then you would like do little things to increase your stats, like meditate and like practice like cutting on bamboo or whatever, and eventually would start battling other dojos and going to this tournament where you actually finally got like a real sword. And then like it made it feel cool because after like hours of fighting with wooden sticks, you go to your first tournament with a real sword. It's like the guy's like, careful, because like now you can really like die. And then like the sword would like suddenly like your attack that you used to just beat over the head with people with, suddenly that like one strike would like kill someone and blood would spray out. And it was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I
build up to that satisfaction.
To this day, that is the last like semblance of Bushido Blade out there. And I'm telling you, there are people out there like me, thousands of people just wanting the next Bushido Blade, and no one else has stepped up and made it. Like the closest thing we got was like that like One Strike or whatever. What was that one? I think we did an episode on it. It was like, where it was like one button press. It was a fighting game where it was like literally like one attack button.
Dive kick? What?
Not dive kick. It was similar, but it was like one strike. And it was like whoever hit, like, it's like, it was like one button to attack, but like it was all about timing. It was on Switch. And I thought we did an episode on it. But
what? I don't know.
Switch. Hold on. Let me find it. Switch.
I don't know what else
I think it's called One Strike. Yeah, One Strike. That's what it's called.
Oh, I haven't played it, and we didn't do an episode on it.
Maybe I just got it. It's on Switch. Maybe I got it because it
dreamed
like
up that episode.
Yeah, Leo dreamed an episode.
Maybe I wanted to do an episode. I don't know. I loved one. I liked One Strike enough, but I mean, it's nowhere near like Bushido Blade because it was like 2D. But yeah, come on, someone make Bushido Blade 3. We need it. But Kengo in the meantime, it was on PS2. And I literally own a PS2 and just one game on it, Kengo, just for when I want to go back and play it. I probably need to get Bushido Blade, though.
My number 2, I think James will like this one, as a spiritual successor, was Rock Band.
Oh, true. Fuck. That's very true.
Yeah, it was a successor to
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero, thank you. Jesus.
Weren't they like out at the same time?
Every time I podcast, my brain just like goes, don't remember anything. Just dump it all.
Was it a spiritual successor or was it just a competitor? I mean,
well, here's the thing that everyone forgets is that Harmonix made Guitar Hero 1 and 2. So Rock Band was still the same studio. And then Guitar Hero 3 was technically
made by a different
Activision, and they were the ones. Technically, Guitar Hero 3 is a spiritual successor to Guitar Hero 2. Because I don't know. However, we're going to define spiritual successor.
Yeah, I think James, your definition involves it having to be a different studio or something.
Mine was like, who made it? Yeah, exactly. Who made it, and how much time has passed?
Yeah. I think Rock Band is a good example where it's more about like, I guess maybe the IP.
The way I think of it is that they took Guitar Hero and said, okay, thinking of how Guitar Hero works, how can we kind of rework that into something else and make it an entire band with vocals and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of more of like what makes it a spiritual successor is because they took the concept and twisted it around a bit to make something different, even though it roughly plays the same. But
it's like a different name and everything on it. So to me, it's like a different IP, but it's very reminiscent of and an obvious next evolution of the original.
Yeah. And then I have the same number 1 as you, James. I put Shovel Knight. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Shovel Knight.
Mega Man.
Fucking great.
It's a great game. Great music, great game.
I prefer Shovel Knight to Mega Man, actually.
Yeah, to be honest, honestly, Shovel Knight is just fun to play.
I was thinking about this now. I wonder, especially for people who are like maybe 20 and under, I bet Shovel Knight is more recognizable to younger people than Mega Man.
Sure.
Like older people are going to recognize Mega Man, but like Mega Man's been fucking absent. Like nobody, we haven't had a Mega Man game since 2009. I want to say.
It's sad, right? Because we've had like all these other games have continued sort of being relevant in some way, even though they're ancient, like Mario and Sonic. And it's like Mega Man should be there.
Mega Man is completely irrelevant right now. And Shovel Knight is in fucking everything. Like every indie game now has Shovel Knight as a guest star. Like Shovel Knight's fucking trophy thing in Smash. Like, I don't know. He's fucking in every game now.
Walk into one of those like, game stores where like, they have like kids just hanging out and playing Smash or whatever and different games and stuff and just come in and be like the old guys. Like, hey kids. Everybody know about Mega Man? And
they'll be like, "Who?" And then,
like, what?
Is that the thing that Shovel Knight's based
on? Original box art too, with the weird guy in the suit,
like it's super 80s. Like, yeah.
You kids don't know nothing about this. No, old man, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I find it funny that like I feel like you mentioned Sonic, and it's like. The Sonic team has really been putting in more effort to stay relevant than most of the games that were more popular than.
It's a Sonic movie, right? There's Pokemon movies, and there's Mario is just like iconic. And Mega Man should be there along with them, but
the Sonic games are up and down. But at least they're making games.
They're trying to stay relevant. They're trying to stay alive. Like Mega Man is just like, all right, we're done with that. Like,
I don't know why Capcom is fucking like. Every time they step up to the plate recently, it's been a fucking grand slam. I don't know why they haven't.
The most relevant Mega Man thing I've seen probably in the last 5 years though was that he was in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
and that epic showcase of the game where like the announcer was like couldn't handle his own excitement. It was at the Mega Man like super attack or whatever. Smash.
Oh yeah, Mega Man.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. So.
And I want to say that was Smash 4. That wasn't even Ultimate. That was a long time ago.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long goddamn time ago. Anyway, where are you, Mega Man? Come back to us. Capcom,
and not in some fake form that looks like Mega Man. I mean, literally bring him back. Like, just bring back Mega Man.
I'm telling you, Capcom is batting 1,000 right now. They need to make a Mega Man while everyone's hot right now. Anyway, I don't know. You guys want to endorse some shit?
Let's endorse some shit. Super fighting robot.
I endorse taking a shit.
Okay. I'm gonna endorse Mega Man. Go play some.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go play some classic Mega Man, and then Capcom make more Mega Man. No, I'm gonna endorse ping pong. I just played ping pong for the first time in forever since we've been fucking COVID, you don't really have a lot of opportunities to play ping pong with anyone. Played a little ping pong, and I was like, this game's really, really fucking fun.
You got enough space for a ping pong table right there. Right?
I have it's in my patio. Yeah,
it is. Okay, that's where I thought.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, James got a nice little patio.
Yeah. Cool.
He could fit a hot tub out there.
Have I
I'm still thinking about that hot tub, man. The 2 weeks of the year where it's actually cold enough to have a hot tub, I'm like, fuck.
It'd be perfect.
That'd be nice. Well, I guess since it's hot most of the other year, you could also get a kiddie pool.
True. And that'd be, you could deflate the kiddie pool and put that one away, like when you're not. Yeah.
Right. That actually reminds me that like we don't really have a whole lot of pools up here in North Carolina now. Like there's like community pools.
It freezes, yeah.
Yeah, and they only open like over the summer only. But like we got a kiddie pool to like basically get in there with like Isaiah when he was really little and the dogs. And then like that's the first time we met our neighbor. It's like just me sitting like a beached whale inside a kiddie pool. And he was like looking over the fence, and I was like, hey, I don't normally look like this. You're
just like, it's hot out.
in a damn kiddie pool. Have I told you about you should do this, James? There's like community centers for ping pong too. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Have you been to anything like that? Like,
well,
have all these tables set up?
Now that the world is opening and coming back to life, I'll have to consider that.
Yeah, definitely fun. There's usually a lot of old people that'll kick your ass.
The hardest ass pounding I've ever had in ping pong was by a man who was like 85, and he's like, I'm
glad that you said in ping pong.
Yes, well,
very crucial to that sentence.
Like there was this old man like hunched over like reading a book by this ping pong table, and I was like, I'll take that old guy. And then he like stood up as we came up. He's like, I'll challenge you, young men. And I'm like, well, I was talking shit. I guess I have to. And then he like serves it. I'm like, what the? And then he like serves it. He was putting like insane, how you see like if you watch like high level ping pong, it's all top spin.
Like he pulled a Master Roshi on you.
Yeah. Absurd top spin. Just absolutely. I think I got like 2 points on him the entire time I was playing him.
It's the same thing as tennis, right? Like old guys in tennis and old guys in table tennis.
What? I don't understand that. Anyone
so good. And
racquetball
too.
Oh yeah. Anyone who's old and plays tennis is gonna pound your ass.
Yeah.
Like
you know what it is.
Yeah.
They need to start using skill as opposed to like pure energy. So then it becomes all about placement and like.
Yeah, I played in a doubles rec league for a while, and obviously doubles. If you're playing doubles in tennis, you have to run less, right? Because you have a partner that you have to cover less court,
right.
And that's exactly what it is. Is old people are so fucking good at placing the ball. They don't have to run. They don't have to move. They just place every single shot perfectly, and it's like I don't know how to win. I don't know how to beat you. Like
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, that's just hours and hours of.
I could see, knowing how James plays tennis, I could see him just like running around like,
because they just place the ball perfectly every time, and like the only shot I can make is like to barely return it, and then they just like slam it or like dink it over the net.
Is there an anime for like? Is there like a tennis anime? Because that would be.
I'm sure that has to exist.
I that's also like a low key like really favorite genre of anime for me is like the sports ones. Like I've seen like a judo anime and like some other one because they always like really exaggerate. Like you could see the old guy like getting onto the tennis court. He's like this frail old man, and then like the kid's like, I'm gonna kick your ass, old man. He's like and then like starts like unsleeving his arm. It's all like ripped and shredded. Right? Yeah. Like I could totally see something cool like that.
That is literally what happens when you play an old guy in like racket sports. Yeah.
Just like all right. Endorsement. I'm going to endorse a game that I've returned to this week for some casual MMORPG fun, which I don't really play a lot of MMOs anymore, but this is one I always return to because it's pretty chill. It's called Final Fantasy 14. It has a little bit of a rough history, like Final Fantasy 11 was Square Enix's first attempt at an online, Final Fantasy and MMO setting, and it has a sort of a cult following, but critically did not do very well. And then they didn't really try to do this again until 14, and then the first time they launched it, it went to shit. I think they actually it was the first time I think I've ever seen anyone just like completely like retract. It's like, you know what? On second thought, we're not going to release this. And they like shut it down for like a year, and then they redid everything. And
this has got to be like the biggest success story in like relaunching and rebranding.
They relaunched it like a year later, slightly rebranded it, and now it's like it has. I mean, it's one of the most popular MMOs. Like it's in the top 5 at all times. You know, like with up there with WoW and Guild Wars 2 and like all the big ones. Yeah, they made it more like sort of typical control scheme because they were trying some funky stuff with the initial beta launch and stuff. And yeah, it's like one of the few MMOs that like actually like I'm interested in the story. Like the main story actually has this really long epic. And it is a little long, but I think in this playthrough I've learned that now that they've had so many expansions, they've have some method of shortening the main story so you can catch up to like the new stuff. And then like the last time I played it was a couple years ago, and they just released the samurai class, so now I'm starting to play that. And of course I got to learn how to be a samurai in the Final Fantasy world. So yeah, FF14 is actually pretty fun.
So now I've heard it from now multiple people that FF14 is like secretly has like the best story, and like
it is a pretty good story.
I keep hearing that over and over again. And I played like the last time I played it was a couple of years ago. I might have played it with you, maybe briefly. I can't remember. I played it a couple of years ago, and yeah, it just felt like a standard MMO. It was like go kill 20 bunnies and then go kill 20 chocobos and whatever. And I was like, this is just an MMO. Like
what's an MMO?
What's so special about this? But I keep hearing that like people are like, no, you got to get to the expansion content, and that's where the story really like.
That's what I've heard.
Like, oh my god, takes so long.
And I had just gotten to the first expansion before I stopped playing the last time I played. So now's the first time I'm really going to actually dig into.
And there's a new expansion coming out soon, or just came out?
Just came out with the added, like the Dark Knight, like the Shadowbringer expansion. So yeah, like I'm gonna start digging into that stuff now. I'll let you know. But
yeah, no, I agree. I've heard it's fucking amazing, standard,
and it was really long because for a long time the base game was the only thing that was out there. So it was really long. I've heard that they've shortened it, or in some way they've allowed people to get through the main content.
I'm unwilling to go take 100 fetch quests to go kill chocobos or whatever the fuck it is. Right. I can't do that. I just like fast forward to where the story gets good.
Yeah, I will say the gameplay though is very much an MMO game, and
yeah,
there is a lot of that questy kind of stuff. But the dungeons, I will say, as someone who's played lots of MMOs, the dungeon and boss fights are a very unique thing. Like FF14 does it in a very unique way, where like the boss fights feel really cool and very strategic, and there's all these like sort of like field attacks that highlight the ground, and you have to like dodge. Every player has to make sure that they're not in those attacks, and like it very obviously shows like the character's about to do this one big attack, and like everyone kind of has to like know, and which is typical of an MMO, but like I don't know, the way they do it is very unique and fun. I recommend it. I mean, you do kind of have to like MMOs a little bit to really play it a lot, but
I don't. Like I keep hearing like how good the story and the characters are, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not willing to play through all the bullshit to get to the fun part.
I think it's probably the best MMO that does the best job at paying a good amount to the story. I don't know if it makes it to storytelling. That's not typically a strong point for an MMO. So I would say it's the strongest point of an MMO, but that doesn't mean it's probably like this amazing story. It's just unusually strong for an MMO.
People keep hyping up how good the story is, and I'm like, do I really have to?
I haven't got to the expansion content. Maybe
all right.
I might retract that statement and say, yeah, it's just epic. We'll see.
Wait, did we okay, I couldn't remember if you endorsed anything.
No, I didn't. Well, I endorsed taking a shit.
That's very important. Very important. Stay regular.
Back it up. We're good.
Crap. God, I just had a thought and I lost it.
Are you just thinking about playing Final Fantasy with me, right?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. That's
hey,
that's what I was thinking about. I was like, man,
if you make an account, I'll sign back up.
Oh, let's do it.
Oh.
Right now is the perfect time that we could all play because I don't know anything, so I need someone to like help me like get in there and figure
out. Final Fantasy 14 episode incoming.
All right,
I remember now. Okay, I'm gonna recommend if you own a home, obviously, is getting a bigger trash bin. This sounds weird. Okay,
no, yeah, I can see that.
When we got this house, we had the smallest cans you could have. They're 35 gallons.
Mm.
Run out of room real quick. Like that's 1.5 trash bags, right? So, especially when you get a kid, then you got like
cleaning up trash all over the place.
Yeah, so it's like, and they only do it where they pick it up with like a claw and dump it into the thing. So you can't really put it on the side. You can't put extra stuff on the side because they don't want to pick that up.
Yep.
So, fun story is you pay a little bit of a fee to have your bins swapped out for the bigger ones. So it's like almost 3 weeks later and we still don't have our new bins. So I call the county and the county's like, oh shit. Oops, we delivered it to the wrong address. It's
nice.
Like, oh, cool, nice. Apparently they gave it to our neighbors down the street. So
God damn it.
Just
Your neighbors
today,
are like, I don't know why we got these, but great.
Yeah. They just got free trash cans. But no, so we just got them today. They were apologetic and expedited the order. They're like, we'll get them out to you soon, sir. Sorry. But they gave us nice big old 95-gallon huge. And I already dumped in a trash bag. It doesn't even take up like an eighth of what's in there.
I'm wondering if that's what we have by default. Is it the ones that like, they come up to like chest height and then like
it feels like
wheels.
It makes you feel short.
Yeah, they got like wheels. And
you're like lifting it up
down.
Yeah.
And they like have like the hinge top open.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got. And we got two. We got one for trash and one for recycling.
The main thing is like it's not even the trash one. The trash one's been fine. It's the recycling because we try to recycle as much as we can, and that would always get just overwhelmed because we always have boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Could not fit it all in that 35 gallons. So nice to have these big old trash bins.
Yep.
Excellent endorsement. That is very
Spoken
good.
like a true adulting guy.
Yeah. That is the most boring adult endorsement, but still
also,
a good endorsement.
We should also endorse the cricket club and the retirement home.
Pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
and I endorse a good jar of prunes.
Prune juice. A
Warriors drink.
You know what's funny is while I was watching Star Trek, I literally saw that episode open. Like I just saw that one shot when the episode opens, and I go, prune juice, a Warriors drink. And that's exactly what it was. I was like, how did I just even remember that? Because it's just Worf and Guinan sitting at a table looking at each other. And I'm like, is this the prune juice thing? It's the prune juice thing. Okay.
The prune juice thing.
All right. Our next episode coming up is going to be Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap, not the
new Pokemon.
64. New
the
Pokemon.
Spiritual Successor.
Anyway, our next episode is New Pokemon Snap. Watch it. It's going to be good.
Sounds like maybe our episode after that might be FF14 or something. Who knows?
Well, maybe eventually, because we got a jam-packed calendar.
We got a lot of stuff coming up.
We give the folks a preview of what we got coming up, just
give
in
them
case.
like a rough list, but not necessarily
a little. Hey, here's New Pokemon Snap. We got that coming. We got some Mass Effect Legendary coming.
Ooh.
Mario Golf's coming up. League of Legends, Final Fantasy 14, Trials of Fire, maybe Resident Evil 8. We got a lot of episodes that are coming in hot.
Yeah.
So watch out for those episodes. Yeah, is that it? Anyone?
I think so.
All right, good episode. All right. For the Good Games Podcast, I'm James.
I'm Leo.
I'm Justin.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye. Can we get it? I want to get Nintendo, Square, and Capcom together, and we're gonna have a conference on how to name your video games. Don't call it New Pokemon Snap, which I don't know. Whatever. I guess it's.
Should we just start because of the amount of games that are starting to sort of reboot themselves and everything like that? Maybe we should just all fall into the 2K naming pattern where we're just like Pokemon Snap 2K21.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what Capcom's been doing, because they made Resident Evil 2 again, and they're like, nah, it's just Resident Evil 2 2019 or 2018 or whenever that game came out.
Yeah. But that might just be the way forward, honestly.
I mean, it works for all the sports games like FIFA and Madden and all that. Yeah.
And it's let's all just admit that we're all just buying the same shit, and it's just, a new year with maybe some updated slight mechanics like Call of Duties, right? We just start doing Call of Duty 21, Call of Duty 22, like, you know.
But like new Pokemon Snap, they've like definitely painted themselves into a corner here because like a couple of years down the line, they're like,
they're gonna be screwed.
Pokemon Snap, yeah. Pokemon Snap, what 3 or whatever. Like, which Pokemon Snap are you playing? The new one? Oh, you mean new Pokemon Snap? No, I'm playing Pokemon Snap.
Because wasn't there also like new Super Mario Brothers?
Yes, but then there's new Super Mario Brothers 2 and new Super Mario Brothers 3.
That is Nintendo trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and they're in denial of the fact that they should really just know
that Mario's not new.
Yeah, like come on, we all are comfortable with this. Like, I will buy every Pokemon.
Give it an incrementing ID. That's all you have to do.
You know what?
Number goes up by 1 every time. That's all you got to do.
Like, same with Pokemon. Just admit it, right? It's the same damn shit, and I'm gonna buy it every time you release it. So just go ahead and call it 21, 22. Like, that's fine.
You can give it a subtitle. I don't care. Just add a number. Just keep adding numbers. That's all you got to do. This is Pokemon Snap 2. We're
gonna put those 3 companies in a conference, and they're gonna have to learn how to name their games properly.
Yeah, it's really gonna be an intervention. Yeah, really.
Yeah, we're having an intervention. Yeah,
with Nintendo, Capcom.
All right, guys. Indexes. Let me tell you about these.
Yeah.
Square has to learn how to count. Nintendo has to stop calling things outrageously stupid names.
Yeah.
And then
Microsoft has to go to prison for what
Capcom has to stop just tacking on nonsense where Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Final Turbo Arcade Edition. Like, what? What does that mean?
Yeah. You know what? Can we throw Nvidia and Microsoft in there too?
Yeah. Just like
Nvidia does that shit. It's like GTX 8990. What? Give me a sequential number that I just know what the highest one is, man.
And then like sometimes, because like back in the day, it was like they went to it was like the 100 series went to the 1000 series. Wow, the 1000 series, and then they went back to the 100 series. Yeah, it was like GTX 100 series, and now we're back into the 1000 series again.
Yeah, like, it's so confusing. Makes no sense.
Anyway, dumb names. Dumb names.
I'm really gonna call out though.
I'm realizing
whoever comes up with the USB like stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like 3.0, 3.1, 3.1 Gen 1, 3.1 Gen 2, 3.1 Gen 2 by 2, 3. It's just like
and then we're at like
Jesus
C,
Christ.
A, B, and C, and then I guess D is next. I don't know.
No, those are the
those are actually kind of normal,
right? Yeah. Those are the connectors, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, the like the actual standard, the USB 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that doesn't.
The 3.2, and then there's 3.2 Gen 1, 3.2 Gen 2, 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, which that's supposed to be the fastest one is the 2 by 2, which is pretty much USB-C to USB-C. Like,
right.
Just God damn it, give it a fucking number. Like, that's all you gotta do is just increase the number.